Begin with the story of a shopkeeper, a security consultant, a shoplifter and her sister. The first two caught the shoplifter red-handed with video evidence, but they ended up being charged. Damien Hansen with the exclusive story of justice not well served.
The whole thing was a joke from the beginning.
It was a case of the criminal being treated like the victim and the victims being treated like the criminal.
Caught in the act and recorded by security cameras.
Belinda Harvie was spending too long in the store and spending maybe up to $10 at the maximum. So on a particular Friday afternoon I had a chance to go back over the tape and noticed that she had stolen some products.
That's when Brisbane shop owners Randy Demos and his partner Nikki McLaren called in security expert Philip Harker.
Primarily what I was asked to do was to download the footage, put it onto a CD and to interview Miss Harvie.
This is Belinda Harvie, a regular at the Planet Matters store for nearly 2 years, and it would seem a regular thief.
Once she was aware that there was a substantial amount of evidence, she broke down and she admitted that she'd been stealing. She admitted she had a problem. She
seemed remorseful. She started crying and and she seemed genuinely interested in making amends.
Belinda Harvie admitted to stealing thousands of dollars worth of goods from Randy and Nikki's store.
It was here that she admitted to the full extent because we actually showed her that we had a terabyte, which is a large 6 weeks worth of video recording from the surveillance.
She agreed to pay back $4,000 and write a letter of apology to Randy and Nikki without prejudice, meaning she acknowledged that the owners could go to the police at any point and she could still be charged with theft.
We were trying to give her a break in the sense that, yes, she did have a problem. The deal was supposed to be that she gave a detailed statement of what she'd stolen.
She went to the bank on that afternoon, picked up $2,500 in cash, brought it back, and she was meant to talk to Phil, liaise with Phil from there on in to pay the rest over the next week or two.
Nikki and Randy were relieved they'd caught their thief and she'd agreed to pay back what she'd stolen.
She admitted to stealing a lot more than that, but I was happy with that. That was it.
Or so they thought. Despite her contrition, Belinda Harvie then phoned this woman, her sister, Elizabeth Harvie, a Queensland Police officer. And that's when it all turned ugly. Big sister Liz sent an email on behalf of her thieving sibling to this man, Detective Adrian Sala. And within hours of the email being received, Nikki, Randy and Phil were arrested and charged with extortion.
It was turned against us. We thought we were doing the right thing.
We tried to ask Big Sister Liz what her involvement in the case was, but she refused to comment or come outside. There
was nothing but her statement to back up anything that she was saying. And she lied and she spun a story. And she admitted to stealing. It's a joke.
The raid had all the hallmarks of overkill. Half a dozen police officers executing a search warrant on a store that had already been raided by a shoplifter.
The only thing that I could come back to was the fact that Belinda Harvie's sister was a police officer, and it appeared to me that she was enjoying the protection of the Queensland Police.
I was treated like a criminal. I was in the watch house and in police custody for a ridiculous amount of time, from 9:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night.
Nikki, Randy and Phil all faced a Brisbane Magistrates Court charged with extortion. And after a 2-day committal, finally some common sense, with the magistrate ruling that none of them had a case to answer.
The simple fact is that even though it was thrown out, we were still victims. We had no right to compensation. We couldn't sue for costs. We couldn't claim damages. We couldn't do any of that.
It cost Phil more than $30,000 to defend himself. Nikki and Randy say they've lost a lot more.
She needs to take some responsibility and she needs to pay for what she's done. We're out of pocket a huge amount of money. We're stressed, not the best people to work for anymore.
So what then of Belinda Harvie? Well, she still hasn't paid back Nikki and Randy and still hasn't been charged despite being caught red-handed.
And Phil Harker has now made an official complaint to the Police Ethical Standards Command and the Crime and Misconduct Commission.